There are mistakes that people make when trying to communicate with their ex. And we wanted to do this video to make sure that you don't make those mistakes. My name is Coach Adrian. I am joined by Coach Danny. This is Love Advice TV, and we do these videos to help empower you to make sure that you can reach your goal of being in a new and improved relationship with the one you love. So Coach Danny,
Yes.
you have had a lot of experience working with individuals who are so eager to get back together with someone that they love, and they make mistakes.
Absolutely.
So let's explore some of those mistakes to make sure that we can help our friends here not make those same mistakes.
Absolutely.
And greatly increase their chances of being able to rebuild a new relationship.
Absolutely. So I think let's just jump right into it, right? So I think the first thing that we can talk about and that I have experienced many times in my one-on-one coaching sessions, and I'm very passionate about talking about this because it's the one mistake that I think sets people back a lot. And it is being very needy and clingy in your texting, right? So let's say, for example, you've been broken up with, the relationship ended, and you're wanting to open up the lines of communication again, and you start off by just word vomiting. Let's just put it that way, right? And you are putting your emotions out there. You're being incredibly vulnerable. You're begging, you're pleading, and you are asking for them to come back. As natural as that may feel in that moment, right? Even though the situation itself is not normal for you, right? Because you've been in a relationship with this person for however long. So this breakup does not feel normal. We instinctually feel like we have to fight to get that person back. And sometimes if we haven't spent the time to really reflect and recenter ourselves, we can lead with emotion. And when we lead with emotion, we have a tendency of making irrational decisions, which can actually set us back.
I'm very, very happy that you brought up this point because it can actually be one of the most difficult elements or mistakes to overcome, but it's also one of the most common challenges. And what I like to try to convey to individuals is that your ex is in a very selfish mindset. They broke up because they felt that that was best for them. And when you're needy, begging, in essence, you're trying to convey what is best for you. And that can be both unattractive, but it's also not going to resonate with someone that doesn't really care anymore about your feelings and emotions the way that they used to. So please take some time before reaching out to your significant other, which is the second common mistake that I would like to really highlight, is the fact that people usually reach out way too early. And trying to win them back at the time of the breakup or in the hours or days that immediately follow usually is directly correlated to being too needy, too desperate, too clingy, and making it about you when that's not going to resonate with your significant other. Actually, what we're trying to do is the complete opposite. We want to organically evolve to the point where your significant other on their own comes to the conclusion that it is in their best interest to be with you. So begging and pleading cannot help them see the relationship or the potential relationship in that way.
100%. And I think an important thing to take into consideration here, and this is really where like the self-reflection aspect of it comes in, right? And the self-evaluation of the relationship. If your immediate instinct is to beg and plead and really put yourself out there, then it's likely that this is a pattern or a behavior that was displayed within the relationship multiple times, right? Because that might be your instinct. That might be the way in which you approach conflict. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened every single time, but if conflict got pretty bad and that was your reaction, it may have led to them feeling like they need to step away from the relationship. And what I tell people all the time is breakup recovery is counterintuitive. what you feel sometimes you should be doing, you should actually be doing the polar opposite, because you're trying to show that individual the change that we are talking about. So if you immediately, like you said, the hours, the days, the weeks after a breakup, reach out to them and display this needy and clingy behavior, you're actually probably validating for them the reason for why they stepped away from the relationship. If they are not used to you actually giving them time and space, giving them that time and space proves to them that there is actual change. And that change is what we're trying to show in order to position you in such a way that you increase your odds and your chances of re-attracting this individual. And look, realistically speaking, how much true and permanent change can happen the days after a breakup? It's not really possible. It doesn't mean that you are not aware of the mistakes and that you now come to realize what needs to change, right? But it takes time to allow that to become part of you and how you approach situations moving forward.
Thank you for pointing that out. The awareness of what went wrong is very different than building the habits or gaining the skills and qualities needed to be able to be in a sustainable relationship with this person that you love.
Absolutely.
So even though the light bulb went on, it doesn't mean that everything has been fixed and sorted out. And people have trouble differentiating those two. But it takes time and effort, actually, to be able to lay the foundations in a healthy way.
Absolutely.
Another big mistake that people make is that they try to convey their change through words rather than through actions. And so it's another form of being needy and seeking your ex's validation. Because what you're in essence telling them is, please take me back, look now. I understand what went wrong, look what I'm doing, I can make you happy. But by doing that, it's actually quite unattractive, and your significant other will feel that you're either being desperate or manipulative. Mm-hmm. Either way, it's not where we want to be. Again, we want to position ourselves in a way where it is they're taking ownership. They feel like it is their decision to want to be with you. We're not doing this in a manipulative way, but we're actually doing this in a genuine, authentic way, where we are able to become our best selves and really convey and display the changes and the new behavior and attitude, the new sense of confidence in an organic way, where this person can then gradually take steps towards you when they feel compelled to do so.
100%. And I think to bring this full circle, right, one of the last common mistakes, well, there's many common mistakes, but for the purposes of this video, I think one of the last common mistakes that we make is, so we've talked about obviously not being needy and clingy initially, giving it some time. So the next step, which would be having processed, healed, recognized the mistakes, really becoming confident with yourself and deciding to reach out again, is when you do decide to reach out, not bringing up the breakup or the relationship. Because essentially you're just going back to square one. And we've talked about this before, and I've mentioned this many times in my videos, and I'm sure Coach Adrian has mentioned this before in his videos as well, which is you do not want to put your ex in the mindset of the breakup. So even though you may be saying this with good intention, even though you may be saying this because you want to clear the air or you want to call out the elephant in the room, which is totally understandable, that action in and of itself may put your ex in a negative mindset, which creates a roadblock for you moving forward in trying to reconnect or create a new dynamic or build something new with them. It does not mean that you've destroyed your chances. No, that's not what I'm saying, but it just may set you back a little bit. And in this process, every step counts, right? Timing is very important. Would you agree with that?
I completely agree with you, my friend. And, when talking about these mistakes, oftentimes I have seen people wait too long to reconnect out of fear of rejection, out of insecurity. And in some ways, there are opportunities, there are windows, but you don't seize them because you are afraid of not communicating effectively. And we have tools, we have resources to help you make sure that you don't miss out on those windows out of fear of not communicating effectively. And Coach Danny has actually created a video that can help you feel comfortable communicating effectively. And you can find this video in the link below. And it's going to really help build that confidence and make your partner feel heard and seen without feeling threatened by you after a breakup. So I highly encourage that you check it out. Ultimately, I'm telling you this because I don't want you to be in a state of fear, thinking about I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing that, I don't want to make a mistake here, I don't want to make a mistake there. And then you're in the state of paralysis out of fear not making a mistake, because that defeats the purpose. We are just trying to raise your awareness of what other people have done, just so that you have a sense of, big mistakes to avoid. But don't be afraid of making mistakes, because ultimately, if you are too afraid of making mistakes, you're going to make the biggest mistake of all, which is to lack trust in your ability to connect with this person. And 100%. We know that you can do it because you've done it before. So we want to shed a lot of the fears, the baggage, the mistakes that have happened to help you be in that place where you can take that step again.
That is something that I find is one of the most common conversations that I have with clients. And it's what I deem as analysis paralysis. So sitting down and overthinking everything to the point where you are paralyzed, like Coach Adrian said, and it's difficult for you to move forward. And I think one of the biggest fears that you may have is saying something or triggering something that may lead to a negative conversation, and therefore you've destroyed your chances. So this gift that we are talking about, this gift that I have created about when it comes to communication, is the perfect tool, the perfect resource for you in this moment if you are planning on reaching out at this point, because it is meant to teach you how to avoid an argument, or how to at least navigate that and make sure that you are approaching it from a more confident, secure place, and that you are making the changes, the changes for yourself that will produce a more effective conversation, a more productive conversation. Because look, at the end of the day, when you are reaching back out to an ex, there are potential triggers that may be touched. That sometimes is unavoidable. It's how you navigate that and how you recover from that shows the changes. That's the actions that we're talking about. It's not just the words and saying I've changed. It's actually how you approach those conversations and how you navigate them. And that is exactly what this free gift that I want to give you helps you to do.
Ultimately, there are many mistakes, and we're just scratching the surface here. And I'm sure that you are aware of many, many mistakes that you've done or that others have done, because you've done the research, because you've watched videos. And share that knowledge with others. Put that in the comment section so that we can all continue to learn together. We also learn from you, from your experiences. And there's a lot of value in actually comments that are shared across all of our channels. So please continue to be generous in sharing your experiences. And if there are things that you disagree with, also please let us know so that we can learn from what you see. So as always, this is a community. We are here for you. We are here to provide you with a platform where you can continue to learn, where you can continue to feel supported, and continue to fight the good fight, because that is what it's all about. This is Coach Danny. I am Coach Adrian. You are tuned in to Love Advice TV. See you next time for another video.
See you later, guys.